Started recording. It'll be a overall. We'll start from scratch. The lady I have asked to not to join in all. So we'll just getting to basically understand how we're going to move forward and understand your expectation, everything, right? So we'll start
Okay.
with data analysis with Excel, and then we'll add it to add the business analyst part of it also as well, right? But
Okay.
Excel prime study here, and that's how we're going to learn. So why do we learn analysis? What are your expectation or what are your idea of analysis? What do we do in analysis?
To just analyze the data, which is frequency is good, it's in sequence, what kind of data we are data analyzing, it depends.
Mhm.
Like
Uh,
sales, that we have to collecting the data for regarding the sales products category like laptops, mobiles, which region is doing good or that stuff.
Okay, great. It's partially true. Okay, first of all, we need to produce it as a data. Data is the right pronunciation, and as an IT, we need to really worry about this pronunciation wherever we go, right? Because unless or until we could, pronounce it correctly, the interview will not be, basically trying to trust like we're working in IT and those kind of scenarios. So we need to basically make sure we are in sync with their linguistics. And I think data is the first pronunciation which you need to correct. Data is, I'll say, it's not the actual pronunciation, but still many part of the world they use that word. But try to use data to start with, right? So data analyst, we analyze means we observe, we kind of study, we kind of break into parts, create or align it as per the parts and so on and so forth. We're going to have a look at that technical verbose also as far as data analysis goes. But overall, analysis just starts with an observation. Okay, so we observe something. So what do you mean by analyze? You build your grocery list by looking at your refrigerator. Are you with me? Means, could you understand what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we do analyze whenever we start building some groceries list where we might say, "Ki, I require milk, I require bread, butter, whatever it may be." So how do I come to that conclusion? By looking at our refrigerator, by looking at our storage, by looking at our inventory, what we have in hand, right? So what type of solution are we here looking for here in this analysis? What I need. So the target here is build a list of what are the items I'm needing. Could you understand this simple example, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, great. And that's the basic level of analysis we are talking about. Then going forward, if you look at business, if you look at overall businesses, right? So businesses, we create businesses to earn profit, to reduce cost,
Yes.
to understand, how to use the given data, given even any business requirement to take it to a level where we can give you some solution. Solution in the sense inference, like okay, I'm to get these 4 items, I'm to get these 5 items, and so on and so forth. So this way, what we do, we normally progressively or iteratively work on some sort of a data, some sort of a environment, some sort of a requirement, and do analysis based on that and produced an inference, produced some bullet points, produced some lists which are more in English language, more of English, nature, or simple business English, where we convey it to the business user. That's how we do analysis observation, be it a business, be it a data analyst, whatever it may be. So this is how we normally progressively do analysis. Again, it's not a one-time scenario. You might create a solution at the end of one cycle of analysis, but it's a continuous process. Because if you look at your fridge on Monday, do you have to look at it on Tuesday or Wednesday? You might skip for a day or two, but still at the end of the couple of days, you have to check out what I need, what I don't need. I can't just
Yeah.
imagine after reaching to the Walmart or Walgreens, wherever you purchase your groceries, like, oh, let me visualize my refrigerator. I'll stand there with my eyes closed and blah blah. It's not really great idea. It's again guesswork. Then we are not going to do guesswork, because unless
Mhm.
until we have a clear data, whatever we have in terms of our inputs, in terms of our requirements. Okay,
Yeah.
here whatever we're analyzing in the refrigerator as a requirement, what do we require? and that requirement list is my output to that analysis. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Any contradiction?
No.
No problem. Now here, as we can see, there are a couple of bullet points I mentioned here. Business process analysis. Here, we try to understand the process as well. How to improve process. Like every time, refrigerator might not be a complete, might not give me a complete scenario. Like sugar, I don't keep sugar in the refrigerator, right? So for
Yes.
I might have to look at my cupboard for tea powder, for coffee powder, and all those things. I'll look at some other places. So we need to build a kind of business process, or we need to improve business process quite a few times. You might say one time in a month, once time in a quarter, one time in a year, and so on and so forth. Again, but it's a need and it's a part of the analysis thing. Okay, so what we collect needs, we collect issues, we collect challenge. Rather, we build a list of needs, build up list of issues, list of challenges, right?
Yes.
I don't have enough milk. That's a kind of, it's a need, it's an issue, and it's a challenge also, because if the milk or milk powder is finished, I couldn't drink my tea or coffee. I believe you drink your tea or coffee with milk, right?
Yes.
So similar way, okay, we are just trying to start our understanding with a basic issues, basic problems, basic understanding, or basic need for the analysis by itself, right? And then
Okay.
when you go to a business, when you go to a requirement, or when you go to a business scenario, there they give this label requirement. Requirements are basically needs. So we gather needs. So what are we need? We need sugar, we need milk, we need cheese, butter, whatnot. We'll build a list, and this is what that list is called, or that process is called requirement gathering. So you are trying to gather some requirement. Then we'll understand what you mean by minutes of meeting. So whenever you scan the refrigerator, whenever you scan your cupboard or whatnot, you need to scan for going to the grocery store, from going to any store for that matters. Because going to a store takes a good amount of time. You're spending some
Yeah.
money, so it's kind of expenses. And then when you come back, you have to utilize that process efficiently. That's the kind of business process we are talking about. You are basically
Yes.
going to, you're going to drive there, you're going to, go to the shelf, gather items, pay to the, point of sales or POS, or, that counter, and grab those things, came back to home with the, safe, secure way, and so on and so forth. This kind of process we are talking about. Now, these
Yes.
kind of, processes has to be labeled somewhere. I need to go to Walgreens today. I need to go to Walmart today. I need to go to Best Buy today. All these stores, they have their plus and minus, right? Even Sam stores.
Yes.
Sometimes,
Mhm.
one place rather than other, because you might get some, items, might be an economical range, might be you get some bunch of items there rather than going store to store. Are you
Yes.
yeah. So this is what we can say. We are managing our requirement. We are managing our process. We are managing our list. We are prioritizing our list. Even sometimes I might go to Walmart first, then I might go to Best Buy or Radio Shack, whatnot. There could be couple of places I visit to complete my requirement, to complete my needs, right? And for that,
Yes.
might need some tools like unified modeling languages. These are again very mature tools where we try to create some diagram, we try to create some good list where we'll understand how we can basically make it more make it more general, make it more scientific approach rather than haphazard, right? And that's how we use this unified modeling language, high level diagram, use case diagram will come there basically. These three are the tool used for business analysis mostly. For data analysis, we don't normally use these things. Sometimes we might use HLD. Again, it's an optional thing. Then solution conceptualization. We walk towards solution. We build our priorities according to the solutions. We basically try to reach the solution as efficiently as possible, progressively, again and again. Okay, so we
Mm.
conceptualize first and then walk towards that thing. Then data analysis, we are talking about it overall. Business decision analysis. Again, it's mostly part of a solution building process where by after gathering this data, after analyzing this scenario, we create our business decision based on those data, based on those requirements, in a predetermined way, in a pre-formatted way, so that to whomever we are sharing our solution, be it a top management, be it a project manager, be it a client, we're going to make that solution in the linguistic which is understood by these dignitaries, these clients, so that they're happy, they are really understanding your solution, they are understanding whatever you've done to reach to that solution. Okay, and this is how
Okay.
in terms of data analysis, we normally create some visual sheets. So we call it graph sheets, graphic sheets, and all those things. So we analyze
Okay.
this thing in graphs, pie chart, this chart, that chart. There are around 15, 16 charts which we're going to practice on these things. There are good number
Mhm.
of sheet formatting as well, where we use heat map, where we use visually pleasing summarized sheet like pivot tables and all those things.
Mhm.
I'll come to this thing slowly, steadily. Then business analyst, normally referred as a BA, where we analyze business, we analyze the requirement, we analyze or observe the factory floor, we try to analyze various scenarios, situation, and then we basically give a solution to the required authorities, required dignitaries, required business people. Again, reporting is a part of analysis. So whatever we generate as a report, it's a kind of overall uh, you know, a visually pleasing solution which we're trying to give it to our client. And that's what we call it as a reporting. Okay. We report means we generate some sort of a bulleted points. Even in business analysis, even in data analysis, we generate some bulleted point. We create some presentations. And that's how reporting is basically understood in terms of any analytical process. Then we have business process modeling, nomenclature, BPMN2. 2 is the second version of it, or 3 might be the third version of it, and so on and so forth. So business process modeling is itself is a science, it itself is a another thing to learn and understand. We'll take a good look at business process analysis, mostly used with
Mhm.
business analysts rather than data analysts, because there we modify our processes. Business analysis refer to the process modeling. Data analysis mostly refers to the decision analysis. Again, there could be overlap as well. Data analysis can be also used to modify processes, but maximum time it's a decision analysis what we do, and vice versa. Then we create some dashboard. Dashboard in the sense a summarized view for top management, summarized view for a clients, so that they can understand if one of these product is doing well, one of that product is doing well in this region, number of sales, number of profits, and so on and so forth. So a summarized view of data progression is normally called as a dashboard. Then project management information system. You might have heard of these things because these are used in quite a few, verticals like hotel industry, like, um, IT industry itself. Then we have travel industry, we have auto industry. They use this project management information system where what we do, we internally study. Again, PMIS is an internal, what you can say,
Study stuff.
system. Yeah, that's right. Dashboard
Mhm.
is basically outward facing. Dashboard is for the public. So even your shareholder
Okay.
normally able to view dashboards and all. But PMIS is an internal thing. It's discussed, shared across top management most of the time. But as an analyst, we are part of generating this dashboard, generating this PMIS. That's why I kept this thing. So what you do in PMIS? What type of initiatives I'm started in my organization? How are they looking at? Are they good? Are they generating required result? If I do it couple of times, are they reflecting on these employees? Like training, right? We do training. We call some
Okay.
external guy and you take training.
Mhm.
For example, you might have a data analyst training for a couple of business.
Mhm.
These things do happen in companies. They do what you can say cross skill their employees so that every time they don't have to go to the market and hire the employee. It's basically cost
Okay.
effective. They call it organically growing skill set among themselves and so on and so forth. So for that, how do you come to that conclusion, or what's the basis for that decision? In PMIs, I'm showing the training which I took basically can
Mhm.
be implemented to the other department as well, so that I can leverage that department if they don't have some, what you can say, enough work. for 6 hours, 7 hours planning, I might add these work to their schedule, and we can build a good employee efficiency within our company. And that's how they progressively do this organic growth in the company with the study of these project management information system. And then, of course, we have project support. In case we create some sort of a subject matter experts within our company by the help of this analysis, where we try to support others who are new, who are not so much experienced, will be supported by the experienced guys who have done this thing again and again quite a few times in the history. And that's how we create this project support. Analysis with Excel graph, we've seen that. I think it's a repetition, but okay. Then there are some advanced Excel chart. In Excel, we do some sort of a programming. We're not going to study programming in depth here. We might, do a simple calculation like sum, addition, subtraction, and a couple of others basically. But more or less, we might use some advanced Excel charts to have a pre-formulated sheets attached within our sheet so that I can do the necessary calculation without any formulas, without any additional things to my Excel, and it works really fine. Okay, so that's what we are going to learn in advanced Excel chart. Plus, we're going to understand some sort of artificial intelligence using some chat GPT and Copilot as well, where how we can leverage, how we can generate result automatically. That's what we're going to look for. Then we have MySQL, MS SQL, and some SQL reporting. Because in data analysis, sometimes normally it's not, I'll say 5-6% of time, you might have to retrieve some data from some different server with the help of SQL. They'll give you SQL, they'll give you your authorization for a couple of hours, couple of days, or something like that. But still, that SQL, whatever supplied to you, just to know to that SQL statement, we'll understand, we'll spend a couple of sessions on MS SQL, MySQL, whatever is easier for us, right? And there are some reporting tools and techniques in terms of pre-formatted Excel. We'll have a look at Power BI. We'll look at some couple of other tools as well. Where like
Tabula as Panda too.
come again, sorry.
Tabula and Panda,
Uh,
because it's also used like
uh,
sometimes they use Tabula,
yeah, Tableau.
Pandas.
Right, Tableau and the
Mhm.
Power BI. These are the two, major tools which are used in North America and Canada. Basically, Panda is
Mhm.
basically a programming tool which is used with Python. So Python programming
Okay.
itself is a critical thing. So Panda is a kind
Mhm.
of a library which we use in Python programming specifically for data science. So whenever you
Okay.
learn programming, right? From analyst,
Mm-hmm.
you are moving to a programmer, you are moving to a scientist, and that's a kind of another level which will analyze. We'll see to that also. We'll see some example. Don't worry on that part. Okay. Again, this all about overall, understanding of the training which is planned. Anything which I'm missing, anything which you expect to add and all.
That's fine.
This is fine, right? And again, you can
Yeah.
during the training also. It's not like we have to start understanding ourselves. We have to these topics limit. We are not going to limit to these topics because there are some new things are coming in the industry like that chat
Yeah.
GPT and all. So we need to
Mhm.
what you can say learn ourselves with that, even if not in depth. But at least we should have some idea. So if interviewer asks question, so what are the
Mhm.
new in Excel? What are the new in business analysts? We should be able to answer that question. We're going to work on that. So please don't worry on that. Okay. Can I
Okay.
move forward?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is data analyst again. The business analysis is basically what you can say lead or benchmark by IIBA. It's called International Institute of Business Analyst. Please have a look at IIBA's website. They give you all standards for business analyst or analysis for the whole. Okay. So they more or less have some exam or certification by themselves also. Some companies do respect, some company don't. So I will not suggest you to do that, but you should have an idea like what type of certification these guys are asking. So if somebody asks, have you achieved any certification, you say no. You might answer saying, okay, I might be preparing for IIBA, but still it's in a progress. It's a things to do on my list for the next month, next couple of months or so on and so forth, right? So that's how we
Okay.
probably convey our thought. Okay. And again, social data analytics and customer behavior. I forgot to add that. Social business data analytics is the new, what can say, hot cake right now. Customer behavior analytics is also a new cake right now. These two are the
Okay.
hot topics right now, and these are required, really, what I can say, required to build an answer. If somebody asks, what do you mean by social data analytics, or customer behavior analytics, so you should be able to,
Mhm.
answer that. What I would really suggest as a homework, please try to understand what is social data analytics. I want to understand your search skill. I want to understand how do you build your answer. Okay, there's nothing astonishing or right or wrong about it. It's a simple, Google search, and try to have a look at a couple of YouTube videos or something like that. Build your answer in 6-7 sentences. Okay. Could you note that thing down? Social data analytics and customer behavior analytics. And both
Okay.
of these are part of data analysis as well as business analyst.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I move
Mm-hmm.
ahead? Sure. Chal.
Yeah.
You already know these things basically. Like these
Yeah. What one you said about the social data analysis, and second one what you said, I have to search it for the customer behavior, right?
customer behavior analytics or analysis, whatever you want to say.
Okay.
Okay. You know these things. I'll just skip this. Now let's try to understand data. Data as a basic entity. Okay. What do you know? What do you understand by data?
It's data, as we discussed, that depends the business, what they need at, what we need at, what we have to focus at. Data which is came from the servers, we getting the data like we can say that the customer's name, what they brought it.
Uh, Please pronounce it as a data. Stop. That's really bad habit to you call it data. Call it a data whenever you discussing, and let's make it an habit because that gives a comfort to the interview also. Okay. Again, so what do you mean by data? When I say my name is Ravindra, uh, what type of data points are we talking here? And it's a layman's terminology right now. I'm not going to the scientific approach right now. So please think loud, speak, to whatever you know, whatever you can understand. There's no right or wrong. Please go.
In
Whereas,
data, what you says, I can't understand. Can you repeat it again, please?
when I say my name is Sahil Gupta, so what
Mm-hmm.
are the data points? How can
Data
I
points,
go it, please?
data point is like the name as Sahil Gupta is a data.
Perfect, perfect. Now you're coming. Okay, uh-huh.
And if I says I'm Sahil Gupta and my age is 29 and I'm brought the like iPhone 16, that's called data. That's
Mhm.
all our data. Age, which product I brought it, and my name is, and what is the shipping details, and the country, especially which country, which region.
Right. Perfect. Perfect. So you got it. So data is basically kind of information, or you can say validated information, right? And here,
Yes.
the data is normally referred to the requirement. So what type of data I need? Okay. When I look at the refrigerator, I might list
Mhm.
down the data point as needed colon milk, sugar, cheese, butter, whatnot, right? And these are my data points. These are my results. So we need to buy these four items and so on and so forth. So this is like we are analyzing the requirements in terms of business analysts. We analyze the requirements. What are my business requirements here to generate a list of what I want to get it from a grocery store. As simple as that.
Yes.
Now the requirement can be a bit difficult. With the given data, I need to build a list of SME with the six standard, with C section, uh, uh, which are in between the age range of this and that. Now we are applying some rules to that requirement. So there could be 10-15 sentence. My name is Ravindra. I'm in sixth standard. My birth date is this. I'm Sahil. I'm in sixth standard. My birth date is this. I'm Pramod. My standard is 7, my birth date is this, and so on, suppose. So within that, you can call it business requirement, you can call it data. I'm trying to validate information and fill it in a form like substance, a table like format where visually it's look pleasing. When I say name Ravindra, name Sahil, name Pramod, age so, and so on so forth. This way I can collect a kind of tabular data. You can
Okay.
understand the tabular data concept. So I'm
Yes.
reformatting information which is given in a sentence to a tabular format, which I believe is more easier for visualization, to summarize, to process. I'll come to the process part afterwards. But why we convert information in a tabular format? To validate visually, to build
Mm-hmm.
processes on that, such so that the further analyzing or the result generation is easier for us. Okay,
Okay.
then to acquire data, there is a process to acquire data, to catch a data, to collect data. This is called data acquisition. So you might retrieve data from some server, you might be
Mm-hmm.
given data on a CD, um, pen drive, or some website, or your email and whatnot. So these are kind of a data acquisition process. What is data processing? I'm trying to understand, out of this data, do I need complete data, or do I need uh,
Data.
60%, 80%? So I'm trying to filter the data. I'm trying to clean the data. I'm trying to rearrange the data. And this is what they call data processing. This
Yeah.
is the most laborious task across across data analysis or business analysis, to clean the unwanted thing from the gathered data, gathered requirements. I flush out which is not required, and that's what called data processing, requirement processing, and so on. So
Okay.
again, we learn this thing progressively. I'm slowly, steadily moving into a technical terminology, but still, have you understood what is data processing?
Yes.
Great. No. Then data exploration. I explore data. I reanalyze the data. I re-observe the data. I rearrange the data as per the requirement, which is called modeling. So exploration and modeling are basically kind of overlapping scenario here. I do it iteratively couple of times so that I can do a deployment. I can share the result with the client or whoever I've asked me to generate these results. And that's how acquisition, processing, exploration, modeling, and deployment, the words could be a bit different, are the major 5 steps in any analysis, be it a business analyst, be it a data analyst. But these are basically data analysis process we are talking about. So what we are doing here, we are understanding the problem. We are understanding the central objective or the gist of solution need to be provided, and identify variables that are need to be predicted. Predicted in the scenario, like what I need to purchase. I need to purchase milk, cheese, butter, tea powder, sugar, and whatnot. So these are the kind of wants or needs. I'm building a list in terms of having, observing, or having, analyzing the refrigerator and storage within my house, or shelf within my house, so that for a couple of days I don't have to go to the grocery stores again and again. Okay,
Okay.
how we progressively build these analytical cycles or a business cycle. Okay, again we'll
Okay.
have at it again. Don't worry. Please have a look at that recording which I have shared with you. I've shared with you, right? That first day.
Yeah. You gave me three recordings, like 3 days maybe.
Yeah, yeah. So have a look at this. We only covered 3 sessions, 3 classes here. So no worries.
Okay.
We are not done much basically. It's more of understanding the participant, and they are also trying to understand me. The way we should be able to talk, we should be able to use the verbos as required by the technicalities. Okay. So this is a kind of
Okay.
introduction round, you can say. Now again, we're going into the more scientific way. Here we are talking about what is data. So data is basically, there are some properties we discuss, right? When I say Sahil, so Sahil, 29-year-old old, good looking guy, so on and so forth, such height, such weight, and so on. So these are properties of Sahil. When I say Ravindra, Ravindra has some properties, Sahil has some property. There could be some commonalities, there couldn't be any commonalities. Again, depend upon scenarios and things. So what we do scientifically, we try to build some attributes to a given entity to define it. Here, we're trying to define data in terms of utilizing it for the processor. So data refers to the facts and statistics collected together for a reference or analysis. Again, there are a number of bunch of words here where we are playing against. So data refers to facts. Are you with me? So if I say Sahil
Yes.
is 30-year-old, that not be the
Mm-hmm.
correct statement. So I can't define it as a data. I might call it as a false information. So here,
Okay.
data needs to be truthful, data needs to be validated, data needs to be checked. So data refers to facts and statistics. Statistics in the sense, a comparative data figures. So when I comparing Ravindra's age with Sahil's age, or
Mm-hmm.
comparing ages across a standard, they should be age enough. If I give a weight and an age, will that be a good comparison, or does that generate any result?
Okay.
So when I say I need 2 kilo of milk, what does that mean?
Yes.
Can I get milk in kilos?
That's requirement
Yeah, that's a.
data.
Is it a kind of validated, verified requirement?
Mm-hmm.
Do you go and buy 2 kilos of milk?
Yes.
2 kilos, 2 liters?
No,
Okay,
not 2 kilos. It's liter because kilo is like vegetable and that stuff.
right.
Liquid is always like in liters.
Perfect. So these are what you can say a uniformity in the data or statistical, validation of the data. So when you calculate space, it might be in a meters, centimeters, millimeters, and so on and so forth. But once, if I'm measuring the height in centimeters, it should be centimeter across the table. It should be
Yes.
in inches if I'm measuring height in inches. And that's how it should be statistically collected. Means it should be uniform in units as well. This is what the basic fundamental of statistics. Uniform units, uniformity across data. See, valid data and uniform data. These are two independent things. Could you understand the difference between these two, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So when I go to purchase some fruits, let's call it, I want to purchase a watermelon for that matter. So will it be in
Mm-hmm.
kilos or liter?
No.
Will it be in kilos or in liter?
And it's in kilos.
Okay, great. What about oil?
It's in liters.
Perfect, great. So this is how uniformity way I'm talking about. But 4 liter of milk gives me a complete requirement. So I need 4 meter or a gallon of milk. And that's a normal requirement, validated, verified. That's the complete data point to be deployed to the solution. And that's how we normally call it a data. Data refers to facts and statistics collected together for a reference or analysis that can be analyzed or that can be a result of analysis. I need a gallon of milk. Again, there are variations of milk like this many percent of fat, that many percent of fat, red cap milk, blue cap milk, and so on and so forth. So this way, I normally categorize my requirement so that even if I might not be able to go to the store, I might send my wife, I might send my brother, or vice versa, any family member to grab those
Mhm.
items. If I'm busy, I got some other images. These things do happen in our life, right?
Yes.
So that way, whatever requirement list I'm creating, it should be uniform, it should be validated so that anybody can understand it, anybody can basically execute it as per the need. Now, let's try to understand properties of this data. The data has to be collected, stored somewhere. Because unless and until if you're storing it in your mind, even if you collect it and store it in mind, does it help for the process? Let's say you stored it in your mind. I need 1 gallon of milk, 100 grams of butter, 1 kilo of sugar. And then you want to
Mhm.
office, you forgot to go to the store. So when you come in the evening, you might find, oh man, now I need to again go out. It's really
Yeah.
much effort, right? So for that, I might build a list. I might use something like paste it. I might do a kind of WhatsApp or messaging across our family saying, hey family, we need milk, sugar and butter by the evening time. So that tomorrow won't be a problem in the morning. We can do breakfast and what not you need for that dinner, breakfast, whatnot. So these kind of things. Data has to be collected and stored. It has to be measured uniformly.
Mhm.
Then we can analyze it. Then we can share across the family so that anybody can execute it. I might create a visualized report. I might create a good list. I might say
Mhm.
grocery in blue, dairy in red, and so on and so forth. I might categorize the requirement. I might list this product in different colors. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
So that way we get more visualized output, which is more pleasing to the business people, which is more pleasing to the others, so that they can clearly understand in a just by looking at it. Oh man, I need two dairy item, I need three grocery item, and so on. So okay, so this way I
Yeah.
can make my data communication, I can make my data analysis more effective, more to the point.
Okay.
Okay, you got the idea, right? What is data
Yes.
and what are the uniformity, categorization, and validity to it, right? We'll
Yes.
learning this thing progressively, but
Mhm.
now let's take a bit of the deep dive and understanding the scientific definition of data, so that
Okay.
whenever an interviewer asks, so what do you mean by data? These are the definition which we have to use, right? So this is what we call data, and I have taken it from I think Webster dictionary, are individual fact, statistics, or items of information, often numeric. Now they say data is most of the time in numeric, but as an
Mhm.
item, well, data is alphanumeric, data is letters, data is numbers as well. Okay, like we're talking about name, age, weight,
Okay.
height, and so on and so forth. So there are these, different information can be categorized or collected in different way. But yeah, most of the time it's a numeric. In more
Okay.
technical sense, data are the set of values, quantitative or qualitative variables about one or more persons or object. Again, here persons or object. We are, we've taken the example of milk, sugar, butter. These are the objects, right? These are the objects
Yes.
I need, and I create a list for that. Then the persons, we've seen the list of student of sixth standard. There could be Sahil, Ravindra, Pramod, and so on and so forth. Again, these are basically quantitative as well as qualitative variables we have collected as a data on a given topic. So grocery list can be my object list. Student list can be person list. And this is how we normally differentiate these list of data, persons or object. Again, not required every time, but it's normally included in the definition.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
data singularly, it's referred as a data, not needed just for information. Again, in the interview, hardly very few ask this question, what is data? But as a layman, you should be able to understand what is data and you should be able to convey that definition. Okay?
Mhm.
Question on these?
Nothing.
You're good, right? Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Although the terms data or information are often used interchangeably, the term has a distinct meaning. In some popular publications, data are sometimes said as a transformed into information when they are viewed in context. So Ravindra age so and so, Sahil's age so and so. So whenever you refer multiple data elements, they might refer to as an information, or you might generate a pair of data after post analysis saying requirement, milk, sugar, this thing, that thing. These are my list of groceries need to be bring to a house before tonight, and so on. So these are we are basically referred to the result of analysis. However, in academic treatments, the subject of data is simply unit of information. Ravindra, name, Pande, surname, so and so age, so and so weight, so and so height, and so on. So forth. So normally, in reality, data are the pairs of information, mostly numeric. but sometimes it's alphanumeric and so on and so forth as well. Data can be categorized into qualitative as well quantitative. So when I say 4 liters of milk, it's a qualitative. When I say good watermelon or good mangoes, because I normally go and choose, right? Whenever
Yes.
I go and choose for good mangoes, good watermelon, or anything whatever I'm purchasing, I'm trying to get the best. Milk is basically already packed, so there's not much choice of qualitative nature in that. But there we can say quality is like so many percentage of fat. That packaging should be good. The milk carton shouldn't be damaged. Milk can shouldn't be damaged, and so on. So whenever we acquire something, we normally look for qualitative and quantitative approach. Okay, but
Yes.
categorize data, there are these four, different types of categorization: nominal data categorization, ordinal data categorization, discrete data categorization, and continuous data. So nominal data is whatever we normally say, 4 cartons of milk, and so on and so forth. We'll come to this description or analysis afterwards whenever we have these, data analysis types understood by us. Okay. So I don't want to confuse you on the first day, but just understand the basics of data, basics of quantitative and qualitative. So
Gotcha.
okay, how do you differ quantitative and qualitative? If you can give me some.
Like what? Like quantitative, we can say that depends to the quantity of how much we need it. Like we say that if we're going to brought something for moisturizers, right? How
Mhm.
much we need it, like in 900, 947 ml we needed or 500 ml we needed. And if we say it's the like a qualitative, it's look good, because always we buy a good stuff. If it's look good, it's always we buy it. It's give us attractive, like does not damage anything, not leaking, and the stuff we are getting, it's good in packaging and everything, that stuff.
Perfect. You got the point. Great, great. That's more than enough for the learning right now. We are progressively learning, right? So today we are just brushing up. Okay. Now
Yeah,
let's start.
that's fine.
Go ahead, please. Please go ahead.
No, I say that's fine because I know the main project of data. So we can say that data is, I got totally get it what you're trying to say. So if you want to be accelerated, you can do that, because mostly I'm gonna get it when we are going to practice on it. Like you are going to teach on the Excel, because I know how to create the pivot table, how to create the dashboard.
Wow.
But what kind of data we have to collect it from where? Sometimes we have to collect it from SQL, but how we get it from the SQL, that I don't know.
No, no, we will learn that. Don't worry on that part. I'll even guide you to install SQL on your, laptop, desktop,
I
and
already have SQL in my laptop.
it's a simple statement, like select star from that table, this table, some whereas clause and all. We'll learn that. Don't worry. Okay. So analytics is termed as the process of extracting meaningful insight from a data such as hidden pattern, market trends, customer preference. Okay, here some words are in blue because they really has to be used in this definition of data analytics. Data analytics is a process. Analysis is basically what we do as a work. Okay, so data analytics is termed as a process of extracting meaningful insight. So when I look at a table and I'm trying to extract meaningful insight, like this is the data of six standard, this is the grocery list, and so on and so forth, from the data such as hidden patterns. What are hidden patterns? If I need a milk of a gallon every 3 days, I'm just showing throwing raw figure here. You might need a gallon of milk a day, or you might use gallon of milk for a week. Again, depending upon everybody's usage and
Requirements.
right.
Requirements, we can say, trendy say that what the customer requirement, what they needed mostly, how much we needed have to be like manufacture if we are working for manufacturing firm, how much pieces we have to make sure that customer buying the stuff like 1,000 piece per day. So how much we have to be created like 5,000 per day. So if the stuff gets short, so till we will get the stuff back in stock, so market does not affect us.
Perfect, perfect. So these are what we call say hidden pattern or the trends, be it a market
Mhm.
trends or a house trends or whatnot. And this is what we basically imply same as a custom milk process. Whatever you prefer. You might prefer skim milk, you might prefer full fat milk. Again, depending upon your requirement,
Requirements.
right? And this is done
Mhm.
by studying and analyzing the procedure data
Yeah.
in terms of what have you bought in the previous weeks, months, days, and all. And that's how we reach to inference. Like Sahil might buy one gallon of full fat milk or full cream milk and so on. So this is how we normally analyze the procedure data and this thing. So this is the kind of process that we talking about, right? So we need to understand data analytics as a process, how it's done, and what it results in. That's the simplest side. Again, we are just getting warmed up on analytics and analytical processes here. Okay. Now, this is the kind of first understanding of a data analytics process. There are basically 3-step processes, 5-step processes, 7, 8-step processes. Again, if you visit some different site, there are different set of processes. But by IIBA standard, they say data analysis is this 5-step process. Okay. And I'll basically give you business analyst as well. Like business analyst is also 5-step process. So data collection in business analyst, we collect business requirement, data
Mhm.
preparation. So we clean the data. We normally try to label the data in a correct way. We validate data in data preparation. Or we
Mhm.
can say requirement preparation, requirement validation. Then data exploration. We clean the data for unwanted thing. We clean the requirement or we normally categorize the requirement in requirement and non-requirement or performance requirement. When I say I need to get the milk carton by evening 8 p.m. By evening
Mhm.
8 p.m. is my performance requirement.
Okay.
It's called because I'm not getting anything, right? It's attached to the
Yes.
process because my process should be complete by 8 p.m. in the evening. So that is what I normally refer to as a non-requirement or a performance requirement. Okay.
Okay.
Requirement is 1 gallon of milk,
Mhm.
100 gram of butter.
One box I feel.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So this is what I call data preparation, data cleaning, data
Mhm.
exploration. I rearrange the data so that the solution can be, made. A model can be made. Data preparation is basically checking the Excel sheet for any blank rows, any corrupted data, and all those things. And the modeling can be pivot table, graph, charts, and so on. So
Yeah, even we can say that if there is like double entries, so we can filter that one. So there should be not a double entries, and we does not get that stuff double, which we don't need it.
perfect, perfect. So you got the point. So that's a data modeling, and then data result preparation. We try to put it some bullet points in the Microsoft presentation or Google presentation, whatever tools you are using. You put it bullet points. So need to get 1 gallon of milk by 8 p.m. 100 gram of butter 8 p.m. So on and so forth. So that's the kind of grocery list I prepared. That's the kind of student list I prepared, which are in 6 standard, which are between the age group of this and that, and so on and so forth. So that's how I build my result. So here, data collection, data preparation, data exploration, data modeling, and result interpretation is these 4 steps. Again, you don't have to use the same word, but we need to understand the process behind it so that whenever interviewer asks, so Sahil, tell me, what do you understand by data analytics? So you should be able to tell 5 distinct steps. Again, these are not distinct, there are some overlaps as well, but still they are labeled as distinct whenever we are discussing it. Practicality, there are overlaps in data preparation, data exploration, specifically data exploration and data modeling are overlap because you explore the data, you model data. If the modeling was coming correct, you normally again explore the data, rearrange the data, and then create the model. So these are kind of repetitive process. You did couple of times to get the correct result, to get the correct representation. Whenever we
So we can simply say that in this that first of all we get the data collection, then we prepared the data, then
Mhm.
we explored it and modeling it, then we are going to get our final result to show what we needed.
Perfect, perfect. So this is how we normally define data analytics as a process step. What I would really you to take as an example, try to basically build your own version in 3-4 sentences. What is data analytical process as a side? Because you should be able to use word which you use normally, and there's no right or wrong here in terms of, because we need to understand the process and explain it to the interviewer, and we need to explain it to interviewer in a such a way that he or she might feel, yeah man, this guy knows, so let's hire him and get the job started. And this is where we need to reach from. Could you understand me, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
So please take this as a homework and try to answer a question. What is data analytics? Whenever you normally, whenever interview ask you what is data analysis. So we should be able to answer in our own words rather than somebody else. Does that make
Yes,
sense? Again, it's a
yep.
first step. I don't want to, use technical word right now, but the words which you understand, and you should be able to example it. You should be able to explain it if the interview asks.
Yeah,
Okay.
which one I say that that's why I just tell you because as I saw in the slide, so that's why I told you, I finish in a four parts, like we could collect the data, we get
Right.
the data, we get the data of companies that what we are doing, then we check it what we needed from it, we are preparing that data, then we are
Mhm.
checking what we needed that's there.
Mhm.
If it's there, then we modeling it and represent to you that so we need this one and this data we have to be fixed at like we need the mobiles and by this time. So
Mhm.
that's my finalization. That's called the data
Per-
analyst.
Perfect. Still, I'll suggest write down
No more.
today, tomorrow, whenever you get time, so that whenever
Mhm.
we have our next session, we'll discuss it and we'll try to understand. Again, we need to understand this thing progressively, and you should be able to answer this question with a full confidence, not with the speed,
Yeah.
but the confidence. And we'll discuss about that, how to stress your point and all those things as well, as and when the time. Okay, let
Mhm.
me move forward. Now here we are talking about structure of data. We talk about table, right? Table might not be the only structure. We might use some different structure as well. But right now, let's take table as a basic structure. Okay. So whenever you create table, right, there are some challenges. So let's see Excel as a tool which we are going to use. But again, Excel, let's take a minute and try to understand why Excel is the main tool we use. So Excel is a tool we use because it's available on most of the PCs, most of the desktop we purchase. If you purchase Mac and all, you might have Excel purchased either separately or the office might have given to you, and that's why Excel is available at your fingertip. That's why Excel. We can use Google Sheet also, which is also free. But again, Google Sheet have their own what I can say, um, constraint. The way of working is bit different than Excel, but Excel is,
The formula is different, maybe they.
yeah, I know. So Excel is basically universally accepted. That's why Excel is the base tool we use for analysis. Again, as you say, Power BI, Tableau, and
I
all,
believe.
what you can say, predefined software or pre-cooked software. So they have some restriction in permutation combination, but Excel is a raw tool. You have a complete spreadsheet, as we normally call it, to table. So each
Yeah.
spreadsheet as a table, multiple spreadsheet as a Excel file or as a database, multiple table as a database. Okay, and that's
Mhm.
how we normally refer to within our discussions, within our learnings. So while data in Excel can be laid out in many different ways, some analytical features require the data in the separate sheet structure, specific structure called table, called sheet. So one sheet is one table. Does that understood?
Yes.
Multiple sheet is multiple table, and that whole multiple table makes it a database.
Data.
Now let's come to challenge of blank record. So there could be some blanks whenever you retrieve data, whenever you collect data. Okay. So for that, we might have, to look at it, we might have to clean it out. For example, creating tables, sorting, filtering data will not work properly if there are any gaps of data. Excel recognizes adjacent row and column of data as a data set. So what is a data set? Data set is basically a record. A row is a record. A column is a category or type. Row is a record. Column is a category or type. That's a normal definition we use whenever we discuss Excel. A row as a
Yes.
record, column as a category or a type, a
Mhm.
table as an Excel sheet. Multiple sheets can create a can create a database, can create a Excel file.
Okay.
Excel recognized, okay, what do you mean by data in Excel or data? It's an intersection of rows and columns. That's a singular data. Are you with me? Let,
Yes.
let me open an Excel sheet so that I can explain it in, okay. Okay, I'm going to show my screen. Could you see Excel sheet I opened?
Yes. Yes.
Right, I magnify this thing. Now, this is a record. This is a
Yeah.
category or column. And this sheet
Mm.
is a table. This sheet is another table. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, start filling data. First can be ID. I'm just taking building a normal database. Second can be name, or second can be first name, middle name,
Name. Surname.
age, yeah, age,
Age.
and you can say zip. I'm just trying to create a database here or trying to create a table. So ID can be 001, first name can be Ravi, second middle name can be Raja, surname can be Patel, age can be 45, zip code can be 63143, and so on. This is where I used to stay in St. Louis, Missouri. Then it can be 002. Now, could you see the Excel is converting it 001, 002 to 1 and 2. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not here. Okay, search TV, Asia, More, 29, 234, 1221, whatever. I don't know where this zip code is, and so on, so forth. Swati. Okay, so this is a database I have created. Simple table. Any confusion so far?
Thing.
Okay. Now this is I say category. Now I can centralize this thing because it's going near
Yeah.
this thing. Again the numbers and so on so forth. Now numbers are normally right aligned. Letters are left aligned or alphanumerics left aligned. Numbers are right aligned because in English we read from left to right. In numbers, the calculation is goes from the zero dominator means this number to that number, right? That's why they are
Yeah.
aligned on the right. This is aligned
Mhm.
on the left. Could you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Nobody asked this thing, but as a what you can say common knowledge, we should know this. Now in
Okay.
Excel, the first row is my header row, is my table header. I normally refer as. Okay.
Mhm.
So I might normally put it in a different background color. I can choose whatever color I want. I'll choose this. I'll do everything centered. Come on. I'll make it bold. So how do I make it bold? With this, right? So I made it
Yeah.
this also. So this is my header in the sense whenever I
Mhm.
analyze data, I normally refer this as a category name or a type name. And
Okay.
this referred as my first record. This is not a
Okay.
record. It's just a header. It's called a table header or it's
Mhm.
a category or type label. And this is a record. I'm using
Mhm.
different words because we should be able to remember this thing. Some interviewer
Okay.
might one word over the others. So for that, I need to really understand all these words. They mean almost the same thing, but still there could be some differences. We'll discuss those differences whenever we progress in our data analytical steps. Okay. Let's
Okay.
as such as of now. This we are trying to understand Excel as a tool to analyze. analyze.
Uh-huh.
What we've done, we created a tabular data of let's say student or individuals or so on. So forth. This is a personal data. Are you with me? Could you understand?
Yep.
Okay. So this is just one table, one unit of data we are talking about. Okay. Now
Mm.
there are a couple of formatting I can do, right? If I select this,
Yes.
yeah, and there are these number of styles as they call it, and I can
Yeah.
use different styles. Could you see this way?
Yes.
And there are different even what you can say.
Headlines, we can do that. Coloring, we can do that. If we want to split like a couple of, like we can you also do like a table ones too.
Perfect.
One is different and one is different, right?
Means yeah, alternate lines in the style and all right. So
Yeah.
mm,
That one we have to go to condition format table or condition.
right.
That one.
Yeah, these are the different formatting available and so on and so forth. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Then we'll have a look at conditional formatting and everything as well. Okay, so this is the
Okay.
overall tabular understanding of Excel. I believe you know. So let's move to our question. That's really great. Okay,
Yeah.
now guidelines for a data structure. Only one
Mm.
of labels for the header row. As I told you, the first row is a header row, right? So
Yeah.
that's what they're trying to say. Then we have each column contains only one type of data. So whenever I come to this, the first name should be first name only. First name shouldn't be
Yeah.
surname or the age
Yeah.
should be surname because the
Mm-hmm.
corrupt data or not validated data. Okay?
Yeah.
uh, Continuous rows or columns of data, no gaps or decorative rows or column. Some might say these are class 6. I'll insert a column and I'll mark it as a gray so that everybody can understand the data finishes here. But whenever you analyze data, computer don't know and computer analyze this as a blank data, which is not allowed. Okay, so that's why, and we shouldn't be able to do these things. I do Control Z to undo whatever I did. So I do Control Z twice. So the row was created row was removed again. Okay, so this is like continuous rows and columns of data, no gaps, no decorative rows or columns. Break the data into the smallest value necessary for sorting and filtering. Okay, you might have done
Okay.
sorting and filtering. Let me tell you, when you click on data, now these are all data processes. And if I
Yes.
filter
Mm-hmm. You have to select first for a filter selection, right?
this thing, so you can see these things. These are what they
Yep.
call filters. So
Yep.
filter have, Excel have filtered that data for me. To do these things,
Yep.
SQL, you have to write at least 6 to 7 line of program. But here you can do just with a click. Filter,
Yes.
ID filter. There are only three. So three. So first
Mm-hmm.
I can select all Ravi or Sahils and all those things. Same thing. All the guys which are age 45, 29 and all the guys residing in zip. Let me open an Excel sheet for you just to understand the sample. Okay. Now let's say employee sample data. Could you see this data?
Yes.
Okay. Normally, this is a kind of, okay, I'll remove the filter because I think filter has been applied last time. I've removed the filter. So this is a kind of 1,000 row data.
That.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you where I got the data. You can get it yourself also. This is not created by me. It's available on a website. I'll tell you. Okay. Again, I'll go to data. I'll apply filter. Now, I want to see all mails here. So what I'll do, I'll go and
Just select mail.
exactly. So I'll deselect select all and select only mail and say okay. Now I'm seeing only mail. And here it says 482 out of 1,000. Could you see?
Yeah.
Could you see?
Yes.
You can see, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
482 of 1,000 records are my mails here. Now, if I want to go and filter again, I'll apply double filter, right? So I want only Asian. So I'll remove all this checkbox, only one checkbox, Asian. So all Asian,
We get just machines.
yeah, only
If we,
Asian males are there out of 1,000. Okay?
if we need any kind of change in departments, we can do that way
Yeah.
in
You
a
can
one click.
Yeah, and this is the kind of filtering I'm using in this Excel sheet on this data. Okay,
Mhm.
this is as simple as click, 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 and things are done, right? This is how
Yes.
normally analysis process starts. Let me take you to the presentation again. Okay. Break data down to a smallest value necessary for sorting and filtering. We need to choose one category or type for filtering and sorting. Okay, an address should be broken down into columns like address, apartment, city. For an address, you might have a separate apartment name, city, zip, because you can able to sort them. So in a particular zip, how many people are there? How do I find out? I'll go and apply the filter on the zip. So in a normal analytical step, I might need to categorize the data further also sometimes. And that's a laborious task. And that's how we need to work as an analyst in quite a few things. So I break down the data in apartment, city, state, zip from address, data. Like we've seen here, I'll tell you. Here, there's no address. Okay, so they have already segregated country and city. They're only country city here.
We can say check in a city and country once.
Exactly. So you can filter on any city you want to select, and you should be able to do that. I want to have everybody in Chicago, Miami, and Seattle. Let's try to do so. So all these, there are 44 of these guys who live in Miami, Chicago, and Seattle. Okay,
Mhm.
something like that. But yes, I need to have a separate data element for that city to categorize it, to filter it out. Okay. So that's what they are trying to say here. And then each row data represent only one record. We shouldn't have multiple records. So like, here, the data is finished. I can't have another row of data after this. Okay. So there should be only one record per row. That's also a need whenever you basically try to clean up the data, try to get the Excel working for you. So these are some basic requirement to use data, use Excel sheet as a tool. The spreadsheet containing list of employee personal information, one employee per row only. There are only one employee per row here, right? Uh,
Yes.
so that's the name of the thing. That's their job,
Mhm.
department, and blah blah. Blah. I can remove the
Yeah.
filter, so I can see all thousand of the employees here, and their
Interesting.
employee ID also. Okay,
Yeah.
so no duplicate row of record. We all already discussed that. Okay,
Mhm.
just try to analyze this thing. I'll share these, thing on your chat so that you can, have a look at this website. There are a good number of such websites available again. So, I'll tell you again, and I'll tell you as the time needs. But right now, you can go here. I have taken this sheet from that side. It's a sample Excel sheet, not copyrighted. Okay, so you can use it freely, but don't use it for any commercial purpose. Okay,
Gotcha.
sure, good. So that's what we talk about. So play it around, do some practice. I'll also share this PPT so that you can,
Mhm.
try this thing. So, company employee example data, folks in a human resources deal with lot of data. The data can be great for creating dashboards, summarizing various aspects of the company. In their database, there are thousands row of data, blah, blah, blah thing. You can use this data to practice popular spreadsheet, features like data sort, add, analyze, or specific sort. Okay, and there are columns in data. So if somebody requires like how many or what's the top paying employee here, because I think salary is also mentioned there. So
Yeah.
the most costliest employee. So please have a look at it and tell me which is the costliest employee. That's take it as a homework basically. Okay, and this is how we are going to progressively learn Excel as a this thing. And please download the Excel sheet from this thing. I have already shared this link in your WhatsApp. Any questions on this so far?
I'm good, sir.
Too good, right? So try to
Yeah.
find which is the most salaried employee here. So tell me, how do you do it? There are salary here.
Yeah. I'm gonna put the filter on it.
Great. I have put the filter again. I put the filter. Okay, go ahead.
And when we're going to select the filter, on that time, we
Uh,
can see we have to go more down in the end of that.
okay, okay.
And
So
like
those
we
one.
can select only this one.
Okay,
We can just unselect the all,
okay. That
and
will
then we have to select the last one.
unselect all and select the
Last one.
and say okay. So this guy is the most salaried employee. Really in one
Yes.
vice president and so on. Great, great. So you got the point. No problem. Okay.
Mm.
So try to
Yep.
most costly employee man. She is a female. That's good.
She's a female. Yeah.
Uh, try to find the least salaried employee now. You got the point. I believe you can do these things. Okay. But play around
Yeah.
with the sheet so you'll get an idea. Which version of Excel do you use, sir?
2024.
Oh, you give okay, great. I have I think older version. This is 2013, I believe. Yeah, it's a 2013 version. I have a Microsoft. I have a Office 365, but normally for training I use this one because whenever you join an organizations, there could be some older
Yeah.
version of Excel also. So that's why
Yep, they have some older version because in new versions a lot of things come, but some of the uses older version. But
you
it's also good for data, right?
right, right.
We
But
have to filter the just data, nothing else we have to do. The older version is also have a pivot table and that stuff which we needed for the dashboard, right?
yeah, I think 2008 onwards, they've included pivot tables and that heat chart and all those things. We will learn that. Don't worry. So that's why I keep this older version just to make sure we understand that, and then we'll move to the Office version, Office 365 version, because that's the newest version available. For Copilot, if you can see, the Copilot is not available in this version. Office,
Yeah, it's in like I have in 2024. Yeah, I have it, that one.
great, great, great. Then we can do the AI thing as well. That's good. Could we stop here? Because I think
Yeah.
quite a few things we've learned, and that way we really have a good kind of understanding, right? What is data
Yes.
analysis? Why
Mm-hmm.
and how we use Excel, and do practice
Yeah.
on these things. There are I think three homework type of thing I have given to you. Please work on that
Mm-hmm.
so that
Yeah.
we can basically discuss in the next time. There'll be two more
So
parts next time, so it'll be really good.
Wednes Wednesday, the other candidate will be join or just we both?
Definitely join. Yeah,
Okay.
there are two candidates, two ladies are there.
Because I think that 3 days which you spent it with her, that's complete in the one ones, right?
Right. I think we have done it quite okay. There are something which
Okay.
discussed in quite detail there. Please have a look at it. I think you had a look at it, so it's not that big deal. It's a simple thing. Believe me. This is the
Yeah,
most.
it's just very just I think it's nothing much because filtering I know that very well because I told you that I have experience of pharmacy for last 10 years. So around that time we have to create the Excel for our data requirement, what we sell, what we got it, how much we gave the discount to the doctors and that stuff. So I know about some of these things. So if we have to use the string operation too in this Excel for future.
Yeah, for VLOOKUP, we might need that string and all, but it's hardly anything. It's hardly anytime you use in a real thing. Mostly the sorting, filtering out gives you a clear idea. And the cleaning thing. Cleaning we are going to practice, so please don't worry on that part. But cleaning is the most laborious task we do. And there are new
Okay.
scenarios in cleaning where you work. So do
Because
don't
mostly I think 2024 gives a lot of things, so we don't have to use like wordings and that stuff, right?
it's quite automated, believe me. But still we
Yeah.
the old way also, right? Because you can't.
Yes, because some of the companies have a old version, so we know about it, so we can do that too.
So we might practice one session on cleaning of these things. So you have an
Yep.
idea of basics, right? What needs to be clean and all those.
Yep.
Nothing wrong,
Totally.
but still, these are the two most easiest training you can have as a non-technical person and start working in IT industry. And to get good,
Yes.
and that's why we choose these things. Okay,
Mhm.
chalo then.
Yep.
Stop here. Let's meet again day after tomorrow. Okay, and
Thank you.
anything, do WhatsApp me. And if we need to have a call, we might have a call or something like that. Please don't worry. I'm
Okay,
available.
that's fine. If I have an inquiry, I will ask you definitely.
Sure, sure. No problem. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. You're
Good night.
welcome. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.